Hello and welcome to the show. You know, when it comes to attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, we tend to focus on the hyper part. But there are lots of symptoms that are overlooked, like constantly misplacing things. It's just one of the reasons ADHD is often left untreated in adults. So we're talking about it today. And if you feel like you can connect, so can I. So it's a safe space here. Leah Mack Haygood was diagnosed with ADHD at 43 years of age. She's learned to manage her symptoms and says the diagnosis has had a big impact on her corporate career. And also with us today, psychiatrist Dr. Shawn Allen. She's here to clear up a few of the misconceptions about what it means to have ADHD, starting with the fact, listen to this now, ADD is no longer a thing. Who knew? I was just today years old preparing for the show as we learned that. Mm-hmm. Ladies, thank you so much. And let me just say to you, thank you for being willing to talk about this, right? Because we talk about it in our group chats with our girlfriends. But talking about it in this space is really important, so I appreciate that.
Thank you for
Let's talk about this diagnosis as an adult. What was going on that you said, maybe I should talk to somebody about this?
Well, long story short, I was on my third marriage, and so my spouse, he said he's very OCDC, so I'm a drop and go girl, right? And at that time as well, I think within the first 2 years of our marriage, I switched jobs 3 times.
Okay.
So he said, you know, he expressed to a girlfriend, I think something's a little off, you know, with me. And we weren't getting along because he likes everything in order and I drop my keys and go, whatever. So fast forward, I was in DC with a childhood friend of mine, and we were in a coffee shop, and I'm like, you know what, I'm about to switch jobs again, I'm so bored. And she said, you know what, I think you have ADHD. And I'm like, I don't have ADHD.
So that's interesting, right? Because there are plenty of folks who switch jobs, right, Doc? And don't have ADHD. What was it? Tell us what was going through your mind during the shifts, right? Because it's a different kind of thinking that was there, right?
So most of the time, boredom. Okay, I had high-ranking positions like HR director, even a couple of VP positions. And once I got to know the lay of the land of the company and the work, I would literally get bored, and then I would start applying for jobs because the excitement wasn't there.
I see you nodding your head here, right? This is common, right? Because I still hear, okay, she's just a high achiever or wanted to move around, but you say, what is that part of it that is ADHD?
Yeah, well, we can't see that. And sometimes it's some of the impulsiveness with ADHD that we are constantly seeking the next opportunity to, you know, to keep us the excitement that we may have initially had in our first job position. But with that, we sometimes make hasty decisions and decide to make hasty changes without not necessarily thinking it all the way through with maybe what those consequences could be or what that may look like once we've made that decision.
There you go, telling my business on the show. We just met. Who can relate, right? Let's talk about the different types of ADHD. How do you all categorize them?
So attention deficit hyperactivity disorder is has 3 different presentations. So there's the inattentive type. And with the inattentive type, we'll notice some difficulty being able to focus, difficulty being able to concentrate on tasks. A lot of times you may start the task, but it's very difficult to be able to see the task all the way through.
Why? What's happening in our minds?
So
is it a synapse? What's not happening, or what is happening with that inability to focus?
We think during this time, there's in our prefrontal cortex, that area in our brain that is there to help us with executive functioning, being able to prioritize things, being able to organize things, being able to plan things. We have different transmitters, dopamine, norepinephrine, that sometimes those levels are low, and it causes us to have difficulty getting enough of those neurotransmitters into our synapses to be able to help us to focus and to pay attention.
I want to talk about this other part of inattentive, constantly misplacing items.
Absolutely.
I thought I was going into some early onset of dementia or that it was menopause.
That is very common.
How do you differentiate? What was that something you experienced as well?
Oh, I've been misplacing things since I was 5 to 15 years old.
Right. So how do you
And sometimes we have to look at the longevity of it.
Yeah.
Like you said, you were noticing that you were doing this from long ago. So it's not unusual for us to hear from even childhood that they've had difficulty. Like my mom always had to remind me. I always left the homework. I always left the book bag. I always left, what I needed for school.
The wallet.
The wallet.
Oh my gosh, I gotta find where it is before the flight.
Right.
Where did I lose it?
Right.
And then you lose the keys looking for it. I understand you switched a few other things too beyond jobs, right?
Yes.
Cars. I mean,
Cars. I get bored with cars.
Are the purchases impulse
Yes,
purchases?
very much so.
And what is it? Is it that you see it like driving down the road while you're in yours and you're like, I want that?
No, it's I can't sleep at night because my brain is very active, and so I'm looking at cars, and then I'm, up.
And you were in a leadership role, right, in HR, but you did not want to ask for help. You felt like that was.
I didn't want to be stigmatized, but people would come to me and ask for accommodation for ADHD, and I was ashamed to say, well, at that time I wasn't diagnosed, but I was ashamed to say something's wrong with me. It sounds like I have ADHD, and other managers were like, you know what? I couldn't communicate it, but I'm like, you know what? They need assistance in order to keep their job. They're a good worker.
Because you could low-key relate.
I could low-key relate. Exactly.
Yeah, I get it. I get it. Oh my goodness. Okay, look, we're going to pause right here, but this conversation is going to continue. Are you feeling seen and heard? I am. Up next, you are going to meet Shayna Lynham. She was diagnosed with ADHD in 2024 and admits she's still trying to figure out how to manage her symptoms, especially as the mother of 4. More on her story coming up when she joins the conversation after the break. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it, and I really want to thank you for season 3 of Portia. It's because of loyal viewers like you that we keep getting to share this daily dose of positivity all across the country. So just a reminder, I still need you to like, comment, and subscribe, and go ahead and tell your friends. You can catch us now in Orlando, in San Francisco, in Atlanta, and all across the country on Fox Soul. Tell your friends. We'll see you soon on Portia.